Your four favorites are Call Me By Your Name, The Darjeeling Limited, Midnight Cowboy, and Notting Hill. I just want to throw it out there that my top choice would have been my own Private Idaho, but it was already marked as watched. So my top choice for you is Y Tu Mama Tambien. Like Call Me By Your Name, it's a queer coming-of-age story that involves someone older who's the catalyst for the protagonist's sexual awakening, and it has that sense of a fleeting summer romance. It's a road movie like The Darjeeling Limited. It's about masculinity like Midnight Cowboy, and it involves class differences like Notting Hill. Roman holiday is set in Italy like Call Me By Your Name. Like The Darjeeling Limited, travel is used as a way for characters to briefly take a break from the roles they play in society and go on a journey of self-discovery. Like Midnight Cowboy, one of the characters has this persona that's kind of gradually deconstructed after spending time in another city. And like Notting Hill, it's a romantic comedy where there's a divide in social status where the man is ordinary and the woman is a celebrity, or in this case, royalty. And in Notting Hill, the woman is American, but in this movie, the man is American. Lost in translation, like Call Me By Your Name, depicts someone who's young and trying to figure their life out, who develops an ephemeral connection with someone older. Like The Darjeeling Limited, it has that feeling of traveling and being away from home, and Bill Murray's in it. Like Midnight Cowboy, it's about loneliness and two outsiders connecting in a big city. And like Notting Hill, one of the characters is famous and the other one is a regular person. The Talented Mr. Ripley is set in Italy and involves queer characters and desire, like Call Me By Your Name. Like The Darjeeling Limited, it depicts privileged people traveling through a different country. Like Midnight Cowboy, there's this idea of adopting a persona to invent yourself. And like Notting Hill, it explores what happens when someone's ordinary life collides with someone else's more glamorous lifestyle. Before Sunrise has the seemingly temporary but transformative romantic encounter vibe of Call Me By Your Name. Like The Darjeeling Limited, a train ride in another country is what sets the story in motion. Like Midnight Cowboy, there's this feeling of lost souls drifting and trying to figure things out. And like Notting Hill, it's romantic in a way that almost feels too good to be true. At least it feels that way to me, because I don't know about you, but Julia Roberts never kissed me after I accidentally spilled orange juice on her, and Ethan Hawke's never talked to me on a train. My Beautiful Laundrette involves queer characters like Call Me By Your Name and Midnight Cowboy, and dysfunctional family like The Darjeeling Limited. And like Notting Hill, it depicts romance that occurs across social divides, emphasizing the contrast between personal desires and societal pressures. Call Me By Your Name is a coming-of-age film. The Darjeeling Limited is a Wes Anderson film, but there are two coming-of-age films directed by Wes Anderson that you didn't have marked as watch, and they're two of my favorites, so I think you should check out Moonrise Kingdom and Rushmore. You've got a couple of queer stories in your favorites between Call Me By Your Name and Midnight Cowboy, so I want to lean into that angle, and since Call Me By Your Name is also a coming-of-age film, a few queer coming-of-age films I think you might like are God's Own Country, Moonlight, and Beach Rats. Depending on where you live, Pillion might not be in theaters yet, but since you like Call Me By Your Name, I really think you'd enjoy Pillion. Since The Darjeeling Limited is a road movie involving a dysfunctional family, I wanted to throw in a few of those, and a couple of my favorites that I think you'd enjoy are Paris, Texas, and Paper Moon. Combining the road movie aspect of The Darjeeling Limited with the romantic comedy aspect of Notting Hill, I want to recommend It Happened One Night, which is a romantic comedy and a road movie. And like Notting Hill, this one also has a class or social divide because the woman is an heiress and the man is an unemployed reporter. I know not all of your favorites are sad, but there are some heartbreaking moments, and I read through all your Letterboxd logs, and I get the feeling there's a chance you might enjoy a movie that breaks your heart a little. So tying back with the queer theme, a few queer films that might make you cry if you're into that sort of thing are Mysterious Skin, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and All of Us Strangers. Since you're a fan of Notting Hill, another romantic comedy starring Hugh Grant that I think is worth checking out is About a Boy. Another romantic comedy starring Julia Roberts I think you'd like is Pretty Woman, which also explores differences in class and social status like Notting Hill, but in a different way. And maybe this is recency bias on my end because I recently rewatched When Harry Met Sally, but I get the feeling that's another rom-com you'd enjoy. And a few other rom-coms I just get the feeling you might like are Four Weddings and a Funeral, The Holiday, Bridget Jones's Diary, and Imagine Me and You.